that we think we need to engage in spiritual warfare as if the battle can be won or lost. And all of a sudden we start focusing on the battle itself, and instead we need to be focusing on the fact that Christ has won the total victory. So when we are oppressed, when the demonic comes against us, when struggle comes against us and we're attacked by the enemy, because we will, folks, there is an adversary of your souls who wants to thwart you and who wants to tear you down and who wants to rob you of your faith. There's an adversary and he's doing that work. How do we do? So what do we do? How do we contend with that? Can I suggest to you the best thing we can do to contend with that is just to worship the one who has already won, Jesus. Let me give you two personal stories. So this is current, right? So the past 6 months or so in the Wilson household has just been a season of exaggerated difficulty. Just been walking through a tough time, like just some frustrations here and there. Yeah, there's a lot of other things going on, but a couple things I just want to point out. About the past 6 months, on Saturday nights, I have horrible sleep, just absolutely rotten sleep. And, I can point to an instance every time, it's just like, oh, this happened. Oh, that makes sense. I'm kind of, and Dree finally said, David, I think you need to ask the elders to pray for you. I think you're under attack on Saturday nights. I think the enemy is wanting me to be in a place of depleted energy and focus on Sunday mornings. I do. And so would you just be praying for me, church, on that I get good sleep on Saturday nights? Like I'm inviting you to be praying for me in that, okay? I think it's spiritual opposition. Another thing, just recent, I just share this with you in complete and total vulnerability. So a couple weeks ago, we had Holy Week, Palm Sunday, Good Friday, Easter, amazing time in the church. Thursday of that week, this is the day before Good Friday, I was overcome with just immense and deep depression. Oh, it was so heavy. And if you remember some of my story, if you've been at Harvest for a while, you've heard me share some of this story. Like I have a history with depression. In college, I was diagnosed clinically with depression and really struggled with that. And just deep, dark place. Oh, it was such a bad day. And I've had that day a couple times since. Like there's this renewed opposition here in that space. I believe that was opposition. I really do. I believe that was an attack from the enemy. Okay, so how do I contend with that? How do I fight that? And how do we do spiritual warfare there? Well, I tell you one thing. On Sunday mornings, I'm not going to say, oh, I'm just too tired. I can't do this, right? And I just focus on the attack. No, I'm going to remind myself that I have been called by God for a purpose and a specific ministry. And if I've been called by God, I'm going to stand in the faith, even though I don't feel like it. And I may not believe it at the time. I'm still going to make the decision to stand in faith that he will empower me to do his work. So I drink a cup of coffee, I put a little extra creatine in my water, and I come to work on Sunday mornings. And guess what? I spend time either in my office or over in this corner. That's what I was doing this morning. And I say, Lord, I am in a diminished state right now, and I just need your presence to fill me in the name of Jesus. Lord, I believe that you have called me to do this work. I believe that you have a message that you want me to proclaim today. Will you fill me with your spirit to do the work which you've called me to do? I want to bring you glory. I'm not focusing on the attack. I'm not focusing on the results of the attack. I'm not giving any credit to Satan at all. I'm just declaring the goodness of God and the purpose of which he has for me. That's warfare. All right, so that Thursday night, I go to bed. I'm going to bed, and I didn't even journal. I didn't have it in me to journal, which is a shift for me, like a big deal. And I just remember being like, I don't want to preach tomorrow night. I don't want to do Good Friday service, and I really want to take Easter Sunday off. Like why do we have to have holidays? And I was just in this place. And as I was going to sleep, I was just like, this can't be me. This can't be me. So I set my alarm extra early for Good Friday morning. And I wake up before the sun, and I spend some extra time in prayer and understanding what God has called me to do. And I intentionally wanted to watch the sun rise because I wanted to just be reminded of the fact that as the sun is coming over, I'm reminded of God's great resurrection life. And through his resurrection life, I feel the heat of the rays of the sun. I see the rays of life coming through. And I remind myself that I'm not defined by death. I'm not defined by depression. I'm defined by God who loves me. And I stand confident in it. Folks, that Good Friday service for me personally was one of the most impactful services I've personally had in years. I'm so grateful for what God has done.